Hey, welcome. Welcome to Food and Dairy Micro Class, Summer School. I'll remind you that 50 years ago, when I first started teaching, the mode of instruction we had blackboards and we had white chalk. And we put everything that we were going to teach you on the blackboard. And students as a whole learned a good trade of how to take notes. And it was a very effective way. So 50 years later, we're going to try to do the same thing, but we're going to do it online, which could be an interesting voyage. Now, so there's two of us that's going to teach the class. Miss Milton is co-teaching this class, and well, let's see, we'll give you a glimpse.
Hello.
So let me tell you how this is going to happen. She is the producer, director, maker of good film, and she's actually going to do a couple of these experiments with us. So I will do most of the babbling on the food processes. Now, we're going to have a textbook. I assume that you have, it's a very good book, and with the way we're going to use this textbook, when we do a procedure or we're teaching a concept, we're going to cite certain pages that you can go to that will duplicate what we're discussing at that moment. So you're going to get some good use of the book. The class is all about applied microbiology. The history of microbiology has been from the applied side, all of the people that worked in it. So food and dairy is going to be applied microbiology. We will make videos of at least 5 to 6 to 10 biofermentation processes. We've already started 2 of them. We've started the process called sauerkraut fermentation, and we've started the process of pickling a cucumber. Both of these processes is going to go on for 5 or 6 weeks. So whatever videos we put out there on that, we will constantly be adding to it as we go through the process. So what we have put online is a syllabus as of yesterday, and it describes how we're going to test you on it. We're going to give you the process, and somewhere towards the end or maybe in the middle we will have a online exam, and we will probably wind up with so many points depending on how many processes we get through. That will be part of your grade, and the other part of your grade is going to be, you're going to choose one of the many processes we give to you. One of them is as simple as making butter. We're going to do a video on that, and you can make your own butter. I think that would be a good trait to have. But you can choose to do any of the processes we have. So you're responsible for doing one of the processes, and somehow or another document it, use your cell phone, send us to it, and we're going to know by the looks of it as we go through this if you did a good job or you didn't do a good job. So don't be frightened about it. We're learning as we go, so be patient with us. I would like to mention a couple things real quick as an introduction. We talked about in the sauerkraut introduction there that it was a natural fermentation process. And what that means is that we use the organisms that's found on the vegetable, on a cucumber or on cabbage or on a watermelon, wherever it's at, we're using the wild indigenous microbes. And part of this process is that in that group of microbes, we have the good guys and bad guys. We'll talk about pathogens as a topic later on in the class. And so one of the things we learned that in fermentation, you have some environmental tolerances that we can use to either enhance the good guys, destroy the bad guys. And so some of the environmental tolerances we use is temperature. All these organisms have tolerance range to the temperature. We're going to be using salt as an environmental tolerance. The more salt you have, the more that you eliminate the bad guys, enhance the good guys. And we're going to be using something called acidity. So when an organism ferments a sugar like glucose, it's going to produce acid. We're going to discuss those lactic acid bacteria in a video session, but just to bring you up to date, what's going to happen here, we're going to introduce you to the organisms. They're going to have some names, and you're going to find out that lactic acid bacteria come in two groups. One of them is called homofermenters. They take glucose and produce lactic acid totally. The other group is called heterofermenters. They take glucose and ferment to lactic acid, but they also produce CO2, ethanol, other acids. So one of the things this group does for your product, they produce something called aroma byproducts. For example, the word diacetyl. We'll show this to you. We're going to also bring up some in lectures that we're going to lean on some chemical facts, functional groups in chemistry. We're not going to go heavy on the metabolism side, but we're going to present some of that stuff so that you can understand why the product did what it does. So, with that, we're going to each step or each process we go through, we're gonna put a document on Moodle, and in advance of when we start to do it. And that document is going to give you a little bit of history, it's going to give you some information, and it's going to give you the process that we're using. So you can have this document as we are going through it, you can read through it in the protocol. And this document will explain what is happening at each stage. So you'll have that to go with it. And with that said, we're going to start fermenting things. Thank you.